Welcome to the Growing Green Landscapes Podcast with Jeremiah Jennings. While still in his early 20s, Jeremiah already runs a successful six-figure lawn maintenance company. Listen in as he and his guests share the things that have brought them success that can help you in your business. As a young entrepreneur in the green industry, Jeremiah emphasizes the tips and tricks involved in running a lawn maintenance business while discussing the principles applying to all small businesses. If you're wanting to grow, become profitable and professional, you're in the right place. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode here on the Growing Green Landscapes Podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings. Super excited to be coming to you tonight with just a little fun Friday motivation episode. This is going to be a solo episode. It's going to be very short, maybe 15 minutes at the most. Just something to get you through a little bit here, maybe through the weekend, through the next week. This is the downtime of the year for us, not working as much, and there's a lot of just it's kind of hard to get interviews. You would think it's slowed down as people aren't as busy. It'd be easier to get a lot of guest interviews. That's actually not the case. A lot of people take this time to take vacations and do things with their families other times of the year that they wouldn't be able to do in the spring and the summer, that they're not devoting as much time to work right now as they would then. So, it has been kind of a struggle to find some guests to come on the show, but we are working diligently to keep bringing you good guests. We're definitely going to have a lot coming up in the next month or two. We're going to be at the Hype House, and we're going to be recording a lot of episodes down there. So super excited for everything to come in the future. But today, we're just going to roll solo. We're going to rock a little 15-minute episode here, just go over some notes for 2022 and do a little bit of motivational talking here, I guess you could say. Just some stuff to help you crush your goals in 22. So I guess the main preface for this episode, I was driving down the road earlier today, and I was just genuinely just thinking to myself, like, how can I be more efficient in 2022? I seen a post somewhere where they had said something about being efficient, and it just got me to thinking, how was I efficient enough? Was I as efficient as I could have been in 2021? And the answer to that is no. Definitely was not as efficient as I could have been. I always need to be better, and I think that's the case for anybody. I don't think anybody is totally efficient and totally 100% as efficient as they should be. So efficiency is what I want to talk about today on the podcast, and how we can be more efficient in 2022. My first step, one of my first points here that I have wrote down, and I just wrote down a few. I sound like a country bumpkin on here. I don't even know how to use proper grammar. I should not be hosting a podcast. But the first point that I've written down, I guess, and these are in no certain order. I just wrote a few out, and I've just things that, like I said, I've been thinking about today as I've been going throughout my day. And I think these are things that can actually help you, and I know they're going to help me in my business, and I think they can help anybody out there, especially if you're starting out or you're going getting into this thing. So one thing, the first thing that I wrote down here is plan ahead, write out all your goals and any big events that you have coming up in the year, and plan for those things. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That you always heard that quote. That's a very popular one, and that's so true. I am a bad planner. I don't plan far enough out in advance. I'm a bad procrastinator. I'll procrastinate till the last second, and then I'll try to plan it all at once, and then I get in a bind and stressed out, and my wife gets stressed, and it's just a big mishap. So one thing for 2022, especially in my business, is I want to plan ahead. I want to write out specific goals that I have for the year. I want to write those on paper, on the whiteboard here in the office, and look at those things every day and plan on how to achieve those goals. What are the steps that I'm going to have to take to get to those goals? And even if they're not goals, maybe it's a big trip. Maybe it's a trip that you're taking in August. You're going to take the family to the beach or something. Plan for that trip. Plan for that trip from here on out, and write down where you're going and what you're going to do when you get there, and how much money it's going to take to go. What car are you going to take? How are you going to get there? What route are you going to take? There's so many different things that can go into planning there. And I think you can take that as far as you want to in every aspect of life there, the area of planning. And I think it can just help you in your business and help you in your personal life. I know I can use it definitely both ways in my business and my personal life. So planning is a big one for me, and writing out your goals so you can visualize those and work toward them every day. If you don't know how you're going to work toward them, how are you going to achieve them? Like if you just put, I want to have a car by the end of the year. I want to have a nice new truck. Well, what am I going to have to do to get that truck? Am I going to have to take on 5 new jobs a week or 10 new jobs a week or one job at a certain price that would make up for those 10 little jobs? What are you going to do? What are steps going along the way that you're going to have to do to get to your end goal there? So plan out, plan ahead, mark down your goals, plan your big events, work toward those. Number 2 is use a CRM in your business. This is actually one that is huge for me. And I'm actually coming off of this. This is only I've only been using a legitimate CRM for the last year. 2 years ago, I used QuickBooks. I started using that for my invoicing. I got away from paper and all that. And that was beneficial. It was very nice having it all electronically there. End of the year taxes makes everything nice. But last year, 2021, was the first full year that I used an actual CRM. And I used Yardbook. I used the paid version. So I have a little bit more of the upgrades there. Some more of the stuff that comes with it. Some more features there that I use in my business. And Yardbook was great for me. It does everything I needed to do for a solo crew, I guess you could say. I have more than I'm not a solo employee, but solo crew, a small operation lawn maintenance company with a little bit of landscaping. Does absolutely great for me. I know it's good for a lot of fertilization companies as well. I know a lot of fertilization companies that have Yardbook and love it. But the things that come with a CRM, and I've seen other people talk about this. I've seen Josh Sutton post on his stories recently about he's got a new CRM that he's going with, Synced Up, and that looks like a really good one to help with Hardscape World and tracking job profitability and stuff. That's not something that I don't really need to have it. I don't need to have that whole job costing thing. As in depth as they do for a lawn maintenance company. You're not doing near as much. There's not near as much material going to a job, and those big jobs that are thousands and thousands of dollars, you really have to know your numbers on those jobs to be able to make sure that you're profiting what you should be. And so they're using Synced Up, I think, but he went on a big rant on his stories the other day on his Instagram talking about the importance of a CRM, and that's so true. And it got me to thinking, why did it take me so long to get into it? And it was lack of knowledge, and then lack of planning, I guess you could say. It almost goes back to planning there. I didn't plan how to make my business successful. I didn't plan on how to grow a successful business and how to do it. I just went with the flow. And I think by having a CRM, you're planning to have a successful business at the end of the year. Throughout the heat of the summer, you're planning to be able to keep things organized and to show up to your jobs, your routes, that you're going to keep your routes tight. Yardbook has a route density feature to map out your route for you. It'll optimize it, the best route that you could take. And I know most CRMs out there will do that. I'm not saying Yardbook is the only way to go. I'm just saying get a CRM because it'll optimize your routes. You have all your customers in one base. You can bulk email, bulk text message, whatever you need to do there to communicate with your customers. It's available for you to do, and you don't have to send out an individual text message to all 150 or 200 or 45 of your customers, no matter what the number is. I'm not trying to send out 45 individual text messages. I just want to be able to type out a message and send it to everybody, like the rate increase letter. If you got 15 yards that are all the same size and all the same price, you're just going to say, hey, bulk email to these 15 people, rate increase letter, your rate's going up 7%, boom, done, and it's over just like that. Instead of having to type out 15 different things and send them all to different residents. So CRM is key. There's so much stuff in there that I'm not even hitting on that come with it. The benefits of a CRM. So much stuff in there I'm not even hitting on. I know a bunch of them link with QuickBooks, so that's easy for your accountants to see your invoices coming in, your bookkeepers. It's really endless, the amount of stuff, the amount of positive things that will make your business grow that come along with getting a CRM. And that is, it's so crucial. You have to have it. If you're still using pen and paper, guys, come on, let's leave that last year, leave that in 2021, get with the CRM, be smart, manage your business the right way, become profitable, and make it easier on yourself as well. So kind of following off a CRM there, kind of following it up, I guess you could say, tight routes. And this is something that unless you're I guess anybody in the service industry really wants tight routes. Even if you're doing hardscape jobs, you don't want to have to be driving 45 minutes to one job. That's just not, even if they're bigger jobs, $15,000, $20,000, that's still a lot of drive time because that's going to be a multiple day job, obviously, if it's that high of a price. So you're going to be spending a lot of time in the car, and there's just going to be a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of windshield time that you're going to be paying people that you're not making money. So tight routes. this is something I have spoken about on the podcast before. It's something that I'm still having to take advantage of taking my own advice, I guess you could say. I'm having to implement my own advice. That's the word I was looking for. Implement my own advice, because I've been talking tight route. Man, the last 2 years I have not had tight routes. That's why I love doing the podcast, because it holds me accountable. The stuff that I'm saying, I have to actually implement. And I know guys out there are watching and seeing, and they're like, man, why are you doing this? If you're saying this, that doesn't work. I don't want to be that way. So, and I also just want to have a profitable business as well. Tight routes. I have spent the last, so let's I want to use an example, and we'll move on. I don't want to spend all day here. But a good example is I had a yard. I had a whole route that was about 50 minutes from my house, 45 to 50 minutes from my house. Now, I had a whole route. I mean, I had enough to spend, 7 hours out there. I mean, I had 10 or 12 properties. They were all bigger. They're on the lakes. Bigger properties. And it was all one route, but it was 45 minutes away from the house. And last year, I got tired of doing 2 of them. And I was like, I just don't want to do these anymore. And then so I dropped those, and I was into 5. And then there was 2 that were out. It was on the route when it was a full day, but now that I wasn't doing the others 2 that I dropped, they were kind of out of the way. So I was like, well, I can't keep these. But I kept doing them for a while. Well, because they were family friends. And if they somehow heard this podcast, they know we've talked about it. They would agree that I made the right decision. But I was driving 50 minutes one way with me and 2 or 3 guys, depending on what time of the year it was, to go spend an hour at their yard. It was about 50 minutes to cut the yard. And be out of the drive, be pulling in and pulling out in about 50 minutes. And then 50 minutes back home. So I'm in it 3 hours. That's how much time I'm in it. Okay? And like I said, I had a whole route out here. So this made sense when I had multiple yards. I could spend a whole day out here. But when I started dropping yards, and these were the only 2 I was going out there for, 3 hours. 3 hours on this one job for $125. 3 hours. And that's not man hours. Because, I've had 3 guys with me. 9 man hours for $125. All because my routes weren't tight. Because I started that in the beginning. Started driving that 50-minute route. Got it so far out there. And then I kept it because they were family friends and they were good customers and I didn't want to get rid of them. But I cost my business and my income so much money. Like, I cost my business so much money. Sorry for that. That just bust your ears. I hit my mic here, but got fired up a little bit. Cost me so much money. I don't want that to happen to you. If you're starting out, if you're getting into it, don't let that happen. Do not fall into the trap of driving all over the world to pick up another customer, pick up another client. It's not gonna profit you. Could it be an extra $50? Yes, it could be an extra $50. But what are you spending in the time there? What are you spending in the gas? What are you spending on the time back? Your labor that's sitting in the car doing nothing. That's one of the biggest things. I would drive there. My guys would sit in their car on their phones for an hour there, work for an hour, and then sit on their phones for an hour back. So they'd have 2 hours on their phone and they'd be getting paid. I was losing so much money. And it finally took me until midway through last year to realize, hey, I got to let this go. Like, I can't do this forever. You hear Caleb Albin talking about hemorrhaging money. That's what I felt like I was doing. Like, I was losing money on that job big time. So I canceled that. I've canceled anything. I've got a couple more that are on the other end of that route that are closer to home. Those are getting cut off this year. I'm not going past 25 minutes from my house this year to cut grass. And that's just part of it. And some people say, man, why are you going 25 minutes? Now, that's too far. If I'm honest, I will probably say, yeah, it's too far as well. Like, in a year to 2 years, I don't want to be going that far either. But right now, I've created such a big thing that was so bad that I'm having to shrink it down slowly but surely. And as I shrink down, I'm picking up new yards around me, and it's working. But I can't just cut everybody off; then I'd be making no income, and I would have no yards, no business. So I'm slowly but surely weeding out the really, really bad ones to get to the bad ones, and then picking up some really, really good ones. And as I pick up the really, really good ones, I'll start weeding out the bad ones and then totally just get down to the all good ones. And so that's the route we're taking. It's a process for sure. That's why I want to encourage anybody out there who's thinking about doing it, don't do it in the first place because it takes so long to get out of it unless you just drop everybody cold turkey and then have no income. And it's a hard thing to do. You hate, like, I've been taking care of these customers for 3 and 4 years now. and I'm going to be like, man, we're not coming out there anymore. Sorry. And I hate having to do that. I hate having to drop people because they're good paying customers. The rates are the right rates for the yards. They're just too far from the house. And I hate having to do that to people. And I'm not going to charge what I would actually have to charge to make that drive. Nobody would ever pay that in their wildest dreams. I mean, I'd be a couple $100 to cut a yard that somebody can cut for $75 or $100. So that's not going to happen. But tight routes are absolutely crucial, especially in your lawn maintenance and your fertilization. Stay close to home. Keep those miles on the truck low, especially, man, with expenses as they're at right now. Fuel prices are outrageous. You just can't afford to be putting those miles on your vehicles. And I don't know. It's just tight routes is just so crucial. It's so key to having a profitable business and being successful. And that's something I'll probably always hit on the podcast when we talk green industry talk, because it's just so crucial and something that I'm having to learn literally every day as I go on. So tight routes that's my third point there. And then I got a few more here, but first I want to take a break. Let's hear a few words from today's show sponsors, the Lawntrepreneur Academy, and then we'll hop right back into today's program.
Hey, it's Marty, and I've been in the communications business for a long time. And our dirty little secret, well, among several secrets, is that we're just not very good at truly communicating.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Do you feel that way about your communication with clients? That it's just not as strong as it should be? That is why Brian has the Growing Your Business with Customizable Newsletters course over at LaunchpreneurAcademy.com. This is an opportunity to increase sales through better communication.
Help me! Help me!
Every month you're invoicing and billing, and that is the perfect time to share new and exciting information with your customers.
Check this out. I'm sending you some email.
Monthly email newsletters are a powerful way to educate, inform, upsell, and just keep the overall atmosphere of your business in tip-top shape.
Wow!
Get started today at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com, and that link is on your podcast app.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for listening up to this point. We are so honored and thrilled to be partnering with Lawntrepreneur Academy here on the podcast. You all know that if you use their products, they're great. I can personally attest to the products that I've used. I know they're helping people become more profitable, more successful business owners, and just run more successful businesses overall. So thank you for supporting them, partnering, and allowing us to partner with them. Thanks to Brian there with Lawntrepreneur Academy and everything he does for the community and everyone out there. So moving on, we got a few more points here, and we're going to wrap this one up. We're already over my max time limit here that I said earlier, but get fired up about a few things. So the last 2 points here that I have today is the next one up is good employees. And I've stated before, I want to preface this before you even tune me out. I've stated before that I'm not going to talk about employees because I've never had more than 2, really 3 full-time. Okay, I've not grown a huge company that has had 15 employees, so I'm not some employee guru, how to keep them, how to train them. None of that stuff. I've not done that, so I'm not going to give advice on that, and because I haven't done it, so I'm not going to talk about something I don't know about. But what I do know is the power of having good employees, whether it be 1 or whether it be 5, and that's what I want to hit on really quickly. Is going into 2-2 here, as Paul Jameson says, 2-2. I like it because it's easier to say than 2022. Going into 2-2 here in the spring. Good employees are a must for you to be profitable and be able to grow. And you say, how can you be more profitable with employees? Well, you can do more work, and you don't have to be there every step of the way if you have a really good employee. So to me, that is profit to me. Even though I might not be spending as many dollars in my pocket as I would be if I was doing it myself, my time is worth that money. So getting good employees. Let's see, some steps that I've learned over the past couple years in getting my 1 to 2 that I've had, and I've had a couple more rotate through, is treat them like you would want to be treated. Obviously, everybody hears that. Treat them like they matter. They're not just showing up to sling a weed eater all day or dig a hole with a shovel or anything like that. Treat them like they're a part of the team, a part of the crew. Buy their lunch every once in a while. Maybe it doesn't have to be every single day, but once a week, every 2 weeks, something like that. Just Make them feel wanted, like they enjoy being there. Give them uniforms. Give them clothes to wear. Make them feel like they're a part of the team. Don't just make them feel like they're an outsider. They have to wear their clothes to go get nasty and dirty and be all grass stained. So help them the best way that you can. But that's some step. That's a few things that I've learned how to keep them. There's so many more than that. Competitive pay, obviously, that's a huge thing that right now is wages are going up. So our prices need to be going up. But wages going up means definitely you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay more than you've ever paid before. $14 to $16 isn't going to cut it. $14 to $16 an hour is not going to cut it anymore to go weed it all day in the heat during the heat of summer, when they can go work for Amazon and start out making that, putting tape on boxes and sticking them on an assembly line. Like, that's not going to happen. So competitive pay is definitely one. But the power of good employees, that's what I wanted to hit on here. Is it goes back to what I said at the very beginning of this point was my time. My time is worth the money. So whatever you pay them, make sure they're worth it. Okay, make sure they're putting in the work, but it's going to be worth it. They will pay off. If they're a good employee, they will pay off, because I don't want to have to show up to every job. I don't have to babysit them. Make sure you're getting good ones like that along the way, and then vet them. Obviously, I'm not a hiring guru, so I don't know all the advice. I don't know all the steps to do that. Maybe I'll bring somebody on in the future that can talk about that. Maybe a recruiter, hirer. I don't know. But getting good employees means I can trust you to go do a yard without me being there. I can trust you to drive my truck. I can trust you to use my equipment and not blow it up and not treat it like running like a bat out of you-know-where. Okay, that's the stuff that we have to deal with as business owners and entrepreneurs. Is we need good people and good team and a good team surrounding us to help us be successful. And in doing that comes risk. It comes risk hiring employees. Go listen to the podcast we had a few weeks ago with Zach out of Georgia. He was telling us how he's about to hire his first full-time employee, and he's going to have to pay him a lot of money, more than he thought he was going to. But it's going to benefit him in the long run, because he's going to be able to take on more work, generate more revenue, and have a more successful business. So is it risky bringing that guy on, that other employee on? It is, but he knows he can generate the work, and he knows he can do it. So he's taking that risk, and that good employee is really going to help him in his business. I already know it. It was a really good episode. Go back and listen to that. I don't remember what number it was, 2 or 3 ago. Zach Coleman there, but that was a really fun one. So good employees, that's one that I think is crucial to having to being efficient in 2022, because you can get more done. He can be doing the tasks that employees need to be doing, not business owner tasks, and that's something that I feel like these podcasts is me preaching to myself half the time, because I'm always like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I do need to do this stuff though, and it's like I said, I like it because I'm accountable. I need to be the one that is getting my employees to do the tasks that I shouldn't be doing. The business owner should not be changing the oil in his mowers. They shouldn't be stringing weed eater string. They shouldn't be. And I'm saying at the end of the day, not if you're out there, not if you're weed eating and you run out, you don't say, "Hey, employee, come string this." I don't mean anything like that. But into the stuff like mixing fuel for the next day and just making sure everything's greased up and cleaning the equipment, that's not stuff that you should be doing. If you have good employees, they should be doing that. Pay them to do that. Make them feel like they have a job and they have a place in the company. They'll clean those pieces of equipment, and they'll want to make them clean because they feel like they own a part of it, like it's a piece of theirs. And they're never going to do it to your capability. Obviously, we've heard plenty of people talk about that, where if you're going to give 100%, they might do 80%. But think, the customer's only wanting 50 or 60%, so 80% is pretty good. And that's what you have to get used to, and just find somebody that can do 80% or 90%, and they'll be good for the customer, and they'll take care of you and your business. So good employees there. Then the last one is, it's kind of a weird one. It's one that I really just thought of off the cuff earlier, was be aggressive in booking jobs to keep from having to go after anything and everything. So what I mean by that is, don't just wait around for the phone to start coming your way, and then you get to spring and you're like, man, I don't have any work. Or you get to midsummer, I don't have any work. What am I going to do? And the first time somebody calls that's 25 miles away, you say, oh yeah, we can be there tomorrow. Don't do that, because that's how your routes get untight. All right. Be aggressive in booking jobs and seeking customers and new leads. Be aggressive in your Google ads and your Google marketing, your SEO. So when people call you, and I say, don't wait on the phone to ring. If you're aggressive in those areas, that will generate people to call you. So that's not what I mean by don't wait on the phone to ring. I'm just saying, don't sit back on your butt at home and be like, well, somebody will call me before long. I'll get a job somewhere. Could be an hour from here, but I'll get a job. That's not a way to do it. That is not a way to do it by any means. So be aggressive in booking and looking for jobs, going out and meeting with clients, eating lunch with potential customers, taking them out to play around the golf or something like that. Building those relationships and those friendships that can help you go after jobs that maybe somebody else knows about that you don't. That type of thing. And it's right. Relationships is one that I didn't even put a point in here on, but y'all know if you listen to the podcast any length of time, you know how important relationships are to me. I love relationships. I want to make as many as I can, and I want to grow as many as I can here in the future. And that's what I do in the podcast. Is what we always say: grow the community one relationship at a time, and that's what I'm here for. So, being aggressive, booking jobs. That was one of the last ones that I came up with there. Just sitting there thinking about it, just some things I could do. So that really wraps up my list of efficiency in 2022. Like I said, it wasn't anything special. No, nothing you probably hadn't heard before, but just a little refresher as we get started here. It's not a big goal-setting episode or anything like that. A lot of people have posted those and put them out, and really good content. I just wanted to do a little twist on it my own and just put out a few things that I thought about, some things that how you can be more efficient in 2022. One thing I want to leave you with here today is I read a good quote earlier, and it said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And you might all have heard that before. I don't know. It really hit home to me. Just think about it for a minute. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Us as entrepreneurs, as business owners, can take that and really run with it. We should do that because it's our job to create it. We can create our own future. In 10 years, if we want to be driving a yacht down the Gulf of Mexico with our family, we can create that. It's our job to put in the work. It's our job to put in the effort. It's our job to be efficient enough to get to that goal. And maybe your future is you want to be traveling the world. Or maybe your future is you want to give $50,000 a year to feed people in Africa that are hungry kids. All right? No matter what it is, you have the opportunity to create your own future. That is the beauty of entrepreneurship. That's one of the main reasons I do it, because I get around people that have 8 to 5 jobs, 9 to 5 jobs, 8 to 4:30, 7:30 to 5, whatever it may be. They're stuck in a world where somebody's telling them what to do. And hey, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, okay? But it fires me up when I get around people like that, and they just sound like, oh man, I'm fine with this the rest of my life. I'm fine. I'll clock in, clock out. Good for them, but that's not the way I'm going to be. And I know that's not the way that most of you all listening into this show are. You're not going to let somebody sit there and tell you what you're going to be in 10 years. You're going to say, I can create that for myself. I'm going to go out and create my own future, because the best way to predict the future is to create it yourself. And that's what I got to leave y'all with today. So thank you all for tuning into the episode. It's been an honor to come to you today on a Friday here. Just a quick little motivational efficiency talk here. Excited for the Hype House coming up. It's been a great time, great winter off. We spent some time off. Spring is right on the corner. We're about to start getting busy here in Alabama. I know you all are around the country. Y'all are pushing snow like crazy from what I see. Appreciate every one of you that follows along with the podcast. If you want to, follow us on Instagram at Growing Green Landscapes. Shoot us a message. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Any topics you want to hear talked about, guests you want to see brought on, reach out, let me know. I always love hearing guest feedback. That's how we really make the community grow, is by just being all one big tight-knit group that we can all help each other out. So like we always say, here to grow the community one relationship at a time. Thank you all. Leave us ratings and reviews. Those really help us. I'm not going to go into that whole spiel today, but I appreciate you all listening in, and we cannot wait to catch up with y'all here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green Landscapes podcast. We know you have many other podcast options to choose from, and don't take it for granted that you chose to spend some time with us today. You can connect with Jeremiah Jennings at Growing Green Landscapes on Instagram, or use the link in the show description. Don't forget to smash the follow button on the podcast and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. We hope you crush it in your business and hope to catch you on our next episode.